So another spirited display by Leeds United's talented array of youngsters, many of them introduced over the last few weeks by David O'Leary. And Ray Stubbs got the new Leeds boss to introduce them to us.
Come on. You've got 5 seconds to get in that half.
It's 1 defeat in 6 Premiership games for Leeds under a no-nonsense David O'Leary, who's shown faith in a young generation of mainly homegrown players. As assistant to George Graham, O'Leary knew the potential of the Leeds side that won the Youth Cup in 1997. But Leeds had also won the Youth Cup in 1993 and didn't reap much benefit. They beat a Manchester United side that included a Beckham, Butt, 2 Nevilles and a Scholes. O'Leary is determined this crop of Leeds youngsters will develop together, and certain players will have a Ferguson-style shield put around them.
I think you've got to keep them away from the BBC and other people. The spotlight is bigger. I mean, no matter what you do now, on the pitch or off, it's highlighted now. Football's a big in thing now. Vast amount of money. I take calls every day. Every agent can do a better job. This, that, and the other. These lads at 17 don't need agents. I never had an agent, and they certainly won't be having agents. And I'll make sure that be time and place for them to get involved with people, the right people though.
And that's not the only marker that's been put down. His players know exactly where they stand and what to expect.
Discipline, and they'll get discipline here, and that's my job. I'm a disciplined person. I don't want them to live like monks or saints or anything else, but it's important to have discipline. Important to have respect. And I think the main thing, even when they go on through their career, when they become established players, good luck to them, earn as much as they can, but have respect for the people you're working for. Have respect for people in general. Just because you're earning a lot more money doesn't make you any bigger person.
It won't happen in this case. Common sense, says David O'Leary, to protect such valuable assets.
Cool is a wonderful talent, wonderful lad to work with. Pleasure to have a lad out there and train. He just wants to play football. He wants to listen and learn. And like them all, if you listen and learn, you know, it can only improve you. Woodgate, he's gone to Old Trafford, he's gone to Manchester United. You look at him before the games, I don't think he really knows what these great stadiums are about, really. Seems to be, just takes it all in. I've had Smitty here a couple of years, and when you speak to Smitty, he looks at you with that cool, calculated, assassin look. And he's got great feet. He loves to pass the ball into the net, really. He's come in, scored a couple of wonderful goals. Ian Hart has come back this year, and he's worked there's no player in this club who's worked harder than Ian. George Graham bought Danny Granville in the summer, and Ian Hart's come back into pre-season training, lost weight, which he needed to, and he's in the team, and deservedly so. It's a terrible habit, Ray, of being able to pass to his teammate, honestly, it really is. It's awful, isn't it? It's an awful thing, believe you me. There's this terrible habit of being able to get on the ball, great touch on it, and being able to find a teammate with it. He's starting to really look after himself this year. I told him if he don't, he's coming to live with me. And I said to him, one restriction on when you come to live with me, as long as you're in by 8 o'clock every night. And
Used to be 7:30, that's not bad.
No, 8 o'clock, I'm lenient. I'm easy. The next few years, he's going to be a wonderful goalkeeper. He's going to push Nigel Martin, which Nigel Martin will need. But any time he's come in, he's done wonderful well for me. Like all the kids, it's been fantastic.
We started talking about the youngsters, finally. You want experienced players too, and David Batty lives just behind that pylon, you're saying? Is it that close? He lives pretty close?
Bats doesn't live too far. I think this training ground would suit him quite nicely, really. I don't think he should ever have been let leave Leeds. And as soon as I got the job, I bid for him at Newcastle. I would love to bring him back. I think the fans would love to have him back here. David Batty wants to leave. We've read that in the papers. And I've got a nice home for him.
Somebody once said you win nothing with kids. Can't think who it was.
No,
but
no idea.
I think if you get the right batch, though, as United have proved, Arsenal a few years before them, it can happen.
Yeah, and it seems to be happening at Leeds, and I think certainly the fact that, you know, there's those of us, we've got 7 who are 21 or under, and if they all come into the team together and all grow up to it together, it helps the team spirit. Their only real problem, Gary, will be when, you know, they do get tired, these kids, when they come in, they play, you know, 6 to 10 games, and it's time then to take them out. So if you've got 6 or 7 of them in the team at the time,
I thought that you got tired when you were our age, not when
yeah,
you were 18 years
at
old.
18. But what I'm saying is they get into a situation where the fact is that, you know, they come into the team, everything's new, they're fearless, and then you've just got to leave them out for a couple of games. That'll be the biggest problem that David O'Leary has. It looks like he's going to try and sign Batty, get a bit more experience. I think Hasselbank's a big player for them as well. And you know, the way they're playing at the moment, they are also playing the football as well, which is nice to see kids come in and get the ball down and pass it.
Good start to his managerial career. And you'll be able to see Leeds against third-place West Ham on Match of the Day tonight. The other featured game is the big one between Aston Villa and Manchester United. That's BBC One 10:35.